Johnny Cash's Saturday Night Live-esque impressions of the king of rock and roll was possibly the greatest compliment he could ever give him. Well, why don't you be the judge and decide for yourself?
If I lose my pass, I'll have to charge extra to get in here next Saturday night. No, I'll tell you, this is an impersonation of a rock and roll singer impersonating Elvis, is what this really is. Well, since my baby left me, well, I find a new place to dwell. Hey, whoa, whoa, good, what? Yeah, oh, oh. Well, it's time to take him home to street at Heartbreak Hotel. You'll be so lonely. You'll be so lonely. You could
Well, if impersonation is truly the finest form of flattery, then...
Okay, I'd like for you to know right at the moment I'm borrowing from this channel here. This is not my work that you're watching. It's from DJ Jerry from Starlight Music. Okay, so we just saw Johnny Cash impersonate Elvis Presley. So let's see the reverse.
Good deed goes unpunished, because in Las Vegas at the International Hotel, Elvis Presley gets to return the favor as he does a spot-on impersonation of Johnny Cash.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the International. I'm Johnny Cash.
Okay, so I want to thank DJ Jerry from Starlight Music. Excellent job there. And if you were listening carefully, the voices sound very closely related, if not identical. So I'm going to propose to you that basically Elvis Presley is Johnny Cash. Johnny Cash is Elvis Presley. Now I know you might want to disagree. That's okay. I'm not about trying to prove things. I've got observations. I've got discernment. And I'm going to state it. They're one and the same. Now, I'm going to show you the picture and provide you with a little more evidence, and only have this as part one. I'll have another part to this whole concept of Cash is Presley, Presley is Cash. So let's go to the picture. Okay, Johnny Cash on the right, Elvis on the left. 55%. Now, I'm pretty certain of this because I just picked it up on another video I watched, and I'll take that into part number 2. But Johnny Cash is made to look a little bigger and huskier than what Elvis was. And on his cheeks over here, this is all filled in. Right here, and a little bit of a nose piece. And of course he drops his voice a little bit, but if you were listening carefully on that imitation thing, it's not an imitation. Presley is Cash, Cash is Presley. So we'll take another look at another picture. Presley on the left, Cash on the right. And this is a photograph whereby they're shown together. Now, as far as I know, they're never physically together. They have stories about encountering one another, but as far as I know, there's no record of the two of them being physically together. If there is, please state so and show me or whatever, or it could be trick photography. But you are looking at the same dude, the same talent. Now they do this, okay? So for example, Jimi Hendrix is also Lionel Richie. Jimi Hendrix is Lionel Richie, and he's also Morgan Freeman. Okay? So they like to do this with a star. Now, you might want to bring in the whole idea of the date of birth. So you've got the date of birth for Elvis Presley is 1935. Now Johnny Cash, pretty close, because I always try to go by date of birth, not necessarily date of death. The reason for that is it's a little easier to track it with the date of birth, because they can have a character die off anytime they want. So Johnny Cash, 1932, date of birth. Now there's a lot of other things I could bring up, but basically I'll try to keep this fairly short and do a part 2, maybe a part 3. But for right now, I'm proposing the theme. Johnny Cash is also Elvis Presley. Elvis Presley is Johnny Cash. So there's plenty more I can say about this, and once again, I'm not going to prove anything to anyone. I am just stating my thesis that Johnny Cash, even a little later in life, all the cheeks, this is just filled in, is basically Elvis Presley. Thank you for watching.